Yeah, that's quite demanding. Rolling!
Hello
there! And today I'm going to be talking to you about the SKYWALK PACE ultralight single skin paraglider. It's made to be as ultralight and teeny weeny minimalist as possible. And you can see I've got it in this backpack here, which happens to be an Advanced X pack. Hopefully they won't fight with each other, they're getting along fine. And this is SKYWALK's ultralight single skin wing. And it's really made to be as light and compact as possible, whilst at the same time having good launch and flying characteristics. So for this wing, this is really about, it's aimed at pilots who are possibly predominantly climbers, hikers, alpinists who are looking for a really minimalist kit, so they can have really great adventures with the smallest, lightest possible kit. And you can climb with it, you can hike up big mountains with it, and it fits all in this pack. So this is the Advanced X pack, 24 litres, and you can see I've actually got space in here, and I've got everything in here. I don't have a reserve, but that could fit in there as well. But I've got the wing, the harness, the helmet, gloves, and some other bits, all the things I need to fly in there. And as you can see, there's more space to put stuff in there. So the SKYWALK PACE comes in 3 sizes, and starting from just over 1 kilo. 1 kilo! I mean, that is pretty amazing. A wing that weighs just over 1 kilo. So let's see what's in the bag. Supair pilot helmet, 380 grams, gin light gloves. There's the Woody Valley Denali harness, check our review of that. And here is the wing. And this is actually with it as it came from the factory, so it's got various bits and bobs that came with it, we'll have a look at as well. PACE comes in this nice little inner bag, just like SKYWALK's other inner bags, just much smaller. And there we have it, the glider. Look at that. That is pretty amazing. Very, very small, super light. Yeah, this is actually the size 70, the smallest size. So for each size of the PACE, SKYWALK have got a sizing chart to help you with choosing the right size. Of course, it's down to your personal preferences as well, but the number of the glider, the number of the size, so for example this is the 70, that's the kind of optimum weight for within the recommended weight range, which is roughly about 3/4 to 2/3 of the recommended weight range of each size. The 70, the 85 and the 95, and of course you could fly it higher in that, then it'll go more into the dynamic end of the range, or you can fly it lower towards the lower end of the weight range, and that would be in the what they call the slow part of the weight range, if speed is not important to you. And I think with the 70, the actual full weight range of it is from 50 to 90, but if you're flying it down at the 50 end, then the glider is going to take off in very, very light winds, but quite slow, so you wouldn't want much wind. And that within that recommended weight range, that's just where the glider just flies best. With single skin wings, they do tend to be a little bit more sensitive to where you fly them in the weight range, so than double skin wings. So yeah, so bear that in mind. But generally as well, single skin wings tend to fly a bit slower for the same sort of size, and also have less speed range. So on average, pilots I think mostly tend to fly them more loaded, up towards the higher end of their recommended weight range to get the best out of them. So in the pack, as usual with SKYWALK, it comes with, I'm guessing that's the sort of basic general manual. There's a snood, and there's some golf tees so you can play golf while you're waiting for the wind. And no, they're the things for holding if you've got snow or a slippery surface. And there are little loops on the glider, so you can pin those down and tie it onto the glider, so the glider doesn't keep sliding down the slope. And here it also comes with, as a lot of ultra lightweight wings do nowadays, it comes with this compress pack, and that's because it's not just about the weight, it's also about the pack size. And with this you can squish the glider in there and then squeeze all the air out and make it as super tight and compact as possible. That has two effects when you put it in your backpack. Obviously it makes it smaller, but it also makes it more rigid, and that actually improves the carrying comfort of the backpack as well. The glider also comes with very nice compression strap, padded and everything. That's the SKYWALK compression straps tend to be. So to get it in here, it is going to be a tight squeeze. And of course these kind of gliders are made with the idea that you are going to hold them really tight and squish them up, and that's okay. Having said that, it is ultra light, so you do need to treat it. The material's very, very ultra light, and so of course you do need to treat them with a bit more care in terms of trying not to tear them. Okay, squish the air out of that. And if I want, I could do that up and compress that, but I don't need to do that now.
A few moments later.
Something I don't have in here is a reserve parachute, which I could fit in there quite easily. And the one that I do have for this is the lightest reserve there is for my weight, which is the SKYWALK Tapper X Alps, and that weighs something like 800 grams. Amazing. Because today I'm just going to do a very simple walk up and fly down, I don't need to have a reserve. The SKYWALK Tapper X Alp is absolutely amazing. It's so light and very compact. It is very expensive though, so it's not going to be in everybody's budget. And there are some other options that are nearly as light, like the Advanced Companion SQR Lite 2 and some others.
And where are you flying from today?
Today we are flying from, I'm hoping to be flying from Firle, the top of that huge massive mountain there.
Epic one, yeah.
And if you can see that on the camera. And then I'm going to be testing and checking out, seeing what the glide angle's like. It's quite a good test from here, because it's actually a fairly shallow glide from the takeoff to this landing field, which is also slightly up the slope. And I'm going to be gliding, the wind's coming from the west today, so I'm going to be gliding straight into wind. So we're going to be a good test of glide on that.
All right. There he goes.
So the idea of the SKYWALK Pace is that it's made with a really minimalist design. That's why the single skin, it's about as light and compact as possible. Ultra light, ultra compact, and also you're going to be taking off and landing in dodgy places or tricky places, not official landing sites, launch and landing sites. So you're going to really need something that's super easy to launch and take off with. You see, just like Tom Cruise, I do all my own stunts. Once you're in the air, you also want the wing to have reasonably good handling. Again, it's about being ultralight minimalist, so you're expecting there's going to have to be compromises. And to be honest, some of the early single skin wings and some really early ultralight wings were pretty terrible, if you ask me. And there's some wings that are maybe even a little bit lighter than the Pace, but I just think the launch, the flying and launching, flying, handling characteristics were all pretty poor, and the performance was terrible. So what I'm really looking forward to testing out with the Pace now is how well does it actually glide. It's a single skin, this is the smallest size, so I've got realistic expectations, but I want to see, does it glide like a brick, or will it glide a bit better than that?
I don't mind if you don't mind running like a rolling stone. I paid my dues, but I can't refuse to walk through this door.
Carabiners, yeah, everything right. Straight from the factory. A riser bag. Look at all that extra weight I was carrying. So let's have a look on the risers. Look at that. The riser, the handle is kind of almost more substantial than the riser. Well, beautifully made. Let's have a look at those in more detail in a moment. So this is how the glider comes from the factory. As the wind's very light, I can open it into wind. If there's more wind, I would red and blue bits. There's hardly any wind, is there? Very light. It's almost like nothing, isn't it? There's a tiny bit of a little zephyr of breeze. That's about it. And this is where ultralight gear has a real advantage, that it looks like there's some breeze. Even the tiniest breeze they inflate and come up because there's so little weight. It's also the design and the single skin wings. So anyone who's used a single skin wing will know they inflate very, very easily. They generally need holding down when the breeze picks up. It's very, very hard to ground handle. Yeah, that's quite demanding. Oh, it's going off the side a bit. Oh, I needed to move a little bit there. Oh, it's going off the side a bit there. Let's go over there. Yeah, I mean, I think they could have made it a little bit less demanding to ground handle, don't you?
Super easy. Beautiful little wing.
That's very impressive even for a single skin wing. Sitting very nice and stably. And we have got a very smooth breeze, but it's very light. I think some wings would just be flopping about in this breeze, even single skin ones. It's very impressive. And if I can control it just by moving around a bit. Yee-hee! I think that's my speed system. So as you can see with the SKYWALK PACE, there's no speed system, and so it's got a fixed trim speed, apart from with the brakes, of course. The brake line keeper goes through and has a line attached to here for the little ceramic ring. One thing to mention with these ultralight, single skin and ultralight ones, you can see they come up really fast. When you're not used to that, it can give you a bit of a surprise. But they're so light, it's so easy to stop. So, one, you don't need to pull them that hard. If you come up, it comes up quickly. But there's so little weight, you see, it's effortless to stop it. That often catches pilots out when they're not used to single surface wings. Well, definitely super easy to launch, even at the light, and now the wind's gone a little bit variable and gusty, and it's just super easy to come up. As to be expected, it comes up quick, but I'm in the habit of braking to stop the glider, but I probably don't really need to. You'll just stop probably, but no harm in doing that as long as you don't over brake it. One of the common mistakes double skin pilots make when they fly single skins is they are over heavy on the brakes. So let the glider fly. When I bring it down, when I bring the glider down, as it's ultralight, as with all ultralight, single or double surface, I'm trying to put the glider down nice and gently and not drag it about. And this terrain's lovely grass, but especially if you're somewhere where it's rough, just doing that once wrong on a rough surface and dragging the glider about, you could damage the wing. So you do have to be super careful with these wings. And actually you don't really need the risers to launch these wings, so. Yahoo!